What if it was a hallucinogen?
It's pathetic.
Oh my god. Listening to her rag if I were tripping, I'd jump out a fucking window.
Hello? Are you listening to me? Do you get it? You are gonna be out on the streets.
And then I felt it.
You don't have a place to live.
I was blind, but now I see.
それで10年経ってみてあなたはどう？ワープの秘密は分かった？
ああ、ワープなんて存在していない。
そうね。
別の宇宙との間の移動を俺たちは勝手にワープと呼んでるだけだ。あっちの宇宙のどっかの星とこっちの宇宙のどっかの星に似たようなぬいぐるみが置いてあるとする。ある瞬間にはこっちのぬいぐるみが自分のことを俺だと感じ、次の瞬間にはあっちのぬいぐるみが自分のことを俺だと感じている。それだけのことだ。
でもあなたたちには宇宙の切り替わりを感じることはできない。
確かにな。だがお前にとっちゃ違う。
そうね。私にとってはワープ前のダンディとワープ後のダンディは別々の人間だから、あなたは私が愛したダンディじゃない。
そうだな。お前は俺が好きだったお前のままなのにな。
分かってて付き合ってくれてありがとう。
まったく君には驚かされるよ、ダンディ。
ああ？つうかお前聞いたことある声だな。
そう、私は時にナレーターとして、時にはカメレオン星人として君のことを見守ってきた。
はあ？
私は物質的にいかなる制約も受けず、あらゆる空間と時間を超えうる存在だ。
それじゃまるで神様みてえじゃねえかよ。
もちろんそう呼んでもらって差し支えない。
マジかよ。
君は平行宇宙での記憶を失っているはずだ。サーファーだった自分も走り屋だった自分もトラック野郎だった自分も覚えていまい。
何も思い出せねえ。
君はあらゆる平行宇宙に存在しながら同一であり得る存在だ。つまりは次元を自由に超えられる唯一の存在だということだ。
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Twice you've saved me today.
Hey! Don't ignore me, you! Don't think you won, even for a second!
Let's call it quits already.
Huh?
After all now, this land is made of love and peace!
Huh?
Love and peace! Love and peace! Love and peace!
Hello, my name is Omega, and I represent a group of interdimensional beings called the Travelers. Interdimensional travel and time travel are one and the same, as whenever you make a shift in time, you leave that universe behind. There are an infinite variety of parallel universes living right on top of each other. We operate on the wave levels of a slightly different frequency, as do some humans, For a higher attuned person, they may see things or communicate with what they call spirits, angels, demons, and aliens, which actually describe higher dimensional entities. I, specifically, am waiting for disclosure to happen on a grander scale before I make myself known. Imagine the panic that would ensue if suddenly a group of terrestrials made themselves public. Now I shall tell you about me and the Travelers. We originated from Venus, in a different time, on a different plane of existence. Where I come from, there is no poverty, currency, hunger, pain, sleep, hate, or love. These are human things. Thought creates existence, and with enough thought power, you can achieve anything you want. We unlocked the secrets of time travel and made our first jump in 2100, when humans had settled on other planets and had become a Type 1 civilization. What we didn't know at the time was that each jump splits the world lines. This may help. Imagine two trains travelling next to each other at exactly the same speed, and you're on the roof of one of them. You jump from one train to the other, catching some wind resistance along the way, and land a little bit farther back than before on the other train, which is still next to you. Your new train takes a dramatic left turn, and the old train makes a right. Both trains still exist, still move forward, and yet we are unable to jump back to our old train. The other thing we didn't know at the time was the severity of the ripple effect, cause and effect through time. Insignificant changes, hundreds of years before your time, led to dramatic scientific blunders that we could not have foreseen. On our second jump, we visited Earth's past, some 60,000 years ago, when humans were beginning to gather in larger numbers and create permanent residences. We tried our best to enlighten them, teaching irrigation, levers, pulleys, and the like, which dramatically shifted human history. On our first return trip to the future, we found ourselves in the middle of a planetary war with Earth and another species of alien, who's also made Earth their home. We had very little time to escape that conflict and became separated through time and space. To clarify, time travel allows you to move from one point and place in time to other X, Y, Z, and T coordinates. There are 3 of us travelers now, a trinity that has existed long before and long after you know. While my brothers keep to their own agendas, I choose to incarnate in each generation in order to open more people's eyes and minds to the higher frequencies. I have taught many generations empathy and divination, as well as the power of prayer, or as we call it, collective focused thought power. Finally, on the note of your magazine article and the Greys, if these are the same ones who have originated from the Orion Nebula region, they are the master tinkerers of the universe. I have encountered 10 species of alien capable of interstellar travel. Be thankful, then, that the Greys watch over you, as there is a great threat to all sentient species by the Draconians, which are massive, centaur-like reptiles with armored scales and leathery wings. I take no part in any alien agenda, since my existence is a strange and peculiar one, involving multiple reincarnations and astral projections. But I still obey laws greater than human laws, which includes no direct intervention. NDI. We did intervene in the past, and spent close to a millennium correcting our mistakes, and we still can't return home. I also happen to be stuck here thanks to the US government having imprisoned me. Disclosure first, public acceptance second, integration third. Your celestial friend, Omega.
Second email from Omega.
Attached are a few rather crude drawings of our ship gifted to us by another tech. It's called a force field rail engine and works similar to rotary engines. Taking superconducting material inside parallel rotating gyroscopic devices and applying a sufficient electrical charge produces a field effect that pushes against gravity and the interstellar medium to give lift and to repel small objects. Though my last drawing can't reflect how it works, the craft simply projects a magnetic field through the ship and miles in front, and then, effortlessly, the ship can glide on its own rail. And when the ship moves forward, the rail moves up with it, so there's always a rail in front and a warping of space behind. Inside the craft, inertia is not an issue, as there is a sustained bubble that is projected through and around the craft. A trip in this ship would feel like watching a movie on your couch, except for with worlds passing by. One of the Traveller's greatest mistakes was divulging critical information to the Germans prior to World War II. Perhaps you have heard of Die Glocke, or the Bell, which is a German wonder machine capable of anti-gravity and incredible speeds, and may have resulted in a Nazi stormtrooper travelling through time. Oh, what a mistake. Indeed, one of my primary functions is to undo such events, but unfortunately this particular German is nowhere to be found. Time travel is universally prohibited, and even less understood. We, of course, are the exception to the rules, having written many of them ourselves. The actual craft is in the hands of the US government now, and we will no doubt see breakthroughs in the next few years. While there are a few methods of moving between universes, very few involve a physical, solid body. Luckily, discarding the body on death gives us full access to our previous form of light and energy. So, until the good, gracious government returns my ship, I am stuck here. Please understand that I use the name Omega to protect my identity from officials who commandeered the craft on Transit Day in 2012. I hope that helps with your research. Your celestial friend, Omega.
Third email from Omega.
I have 8 important announcements to make to you, Human Paul. First announcement. Greys and Draconians are the 2 most well-known alien races. Both originate from the same region of the sky, towards Orion. However, Draconians were the first to genetically manipulate species. You may be interested to know that there have been 2 DNA manipulations of Homo sapiens. As for Venus, our ancestors bred with the Draconians. There was a great conflict in the Orion region for interstellar dominance, in which Draconians had the upper hand, until the collective thought power gave birth to the first Shining Ones. The Draconians call them Pa-Tal, which were higher dimensional beings who manifested in Draconian bodies. Second announcement. The gods never left, so I'm unaware at this time about any large revelation, but the solstice holds special significance to us. We travelers have regular meetings on the solstice. Our last meeting was December the 21st, 2012. The travelers have 3 laws of time travel, and 6 regulations that we all follow. There is one more, the 7th, but it doesn't really count, as it is simply exceptions can be made to all the rules. The first regulation states that we are no longer allowed to travel back before ancient Maya, because we interfered too much with that civilization, which sadly has resulted in our longest lasting conflict. Third announcement. The Mayans may have been referencing us, since our meetings fall on the same date every few thousand years. We are now dedicated to bring enlightenment and peace. Other aliens have other agendas, however, and the new age you are entering may be an age of integration, with humans beginning to populate the solar system and beyond. Fourth announcement. Each generation is subject to the interpretation of the scribes. I cannot speak for everyone, only about my interaction with Christianity, where I was known as the Archangel Uriel. The Hoppus Blue Star may be referencing another Shining One, to whom Christianity refers as Lucifer or Marduk. But remember, humans are limited in their understanding of things, and will embellish stories to bridge the gaps. Fifth announcement. One way of travelling that I'll share with you involves using a singularity, whilst moving near light speed or above. Please understand that C is just a barrier. It helps to imagine the world lines as light emitted from your body, propagating forward in time. Under sufficient enough gravity, light bends. So, to answer your question, in what instance is gravity enough to bend light all the way round? I would say that the problem with following the hyperbolic curvature of space-time around a singularity is that you don't know where or when you'll end up. We found that out the hard way our first time. There are other variations, such as using wormholes, tachyons, and phase shifts, which is my preferred method. But with that, you don't even know what you'll end up as. Sixth announcement. Though there may be others that I don't know about, all 10 interstellar species have visited Earth, which may account for so many alien encounter variations. Seventh announcement. Greys operate in both the physical and slightly higher frequencies, so they have telepathy, astral projections and empathy, in addition to their physical superiority. I know Draconians prefer to infiltrate organizations of high authority, while Greys try to preserve peace. They have the most reports because they look so much like the stereotypical alien. Big black eyes, absence of noses, baldness, and so on. I don't know exactly what they want, since our interactions have been less than pleasant. However, they are definitely interested in time travel, and may very well have figured it out by now, since it's relatively easy for their technology. But take a look at the numerous types of craft reported. Cigars, saucers, boomerangs, deltas, and so on, for more evidence of multiple alien visitors. Eighth and final announcement. The US government knows about extraterrestrial visitors and works with the Draconians, Greys, Nordics, and Venusians. Think Omnek Onek, the female spiritual teacher from Venus. President Eisenhower's encounter with the so-called Nordic aliens, and so on. The Germans know because we previously worked with them. Die Glocke, theories of relativity, etc. The Russians know through the Tunguska event, and have just as many secrets as the US does. Oh yes, I do have a bit of a grudge against America, since I'm being kept here against my will. If only I could jump time again, and try to get home. One thing to consider with time travelers is that we have made multiple marks on history already, which at times violates causality, which is the greatest reason to keep it secret. Oh, in answer to your final question, yes, there is only one God, whose radiance shines down through all the dimensions. We all admire God, and aspire to be more godlike, but we too are imperfect. Your cosmic friend, Omega. Farewell.
Paul Dale Roberts never heard from Omega again.
Cool, cool. I bet a lot of people pray to you, huh?
Yes, but there are so many asking so much. After a while, you just sort of tune it out.
You know, I was God once.
Yes, I saw. You were doing well until everyone died.
It was awful. I tried helping them, I tried not helping them, but in the end, I couldn't do them any good. Do you think what I did was wrong?
Right and wrong are just words. What matters is what you do.
Yeah, I know. That's why I asked if what I did... forget it.
Bender, being God isn't easy. If you do too much, people get dependent on you. And if you do nothing, they lose hope. You have to use a light touch, like a safecracker or a pickpocket.
Or a guy who burns down a bar for the insurance money.
Yes, if you make it look like an electrical thing. When you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all.